United States U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet in Alaska. The meeting is scheduled for next Friday. This will be Putin's first visit to the U.S. in a decade. However, the Institute for the Study of War (ISW) believes the Kremlin is attempting to divide U.S.-European relations over the war in Ukraine. This was revealed in its latest report. ISW believes Moscow wants to weaken cohesion between the US, Ukraine, and its European allies. Russia will portray Kyiv and Europe as obstacles to reaching a peace agreement. The Kremlin is attempting to use the upcoming Alaska summit to divide the United States from Europe rather than engage in meaningful peace efforts, wrote ISW, as quoted by Newsweek, Tuesday, August 12, 2025. ISW believes this stance is consistent with Moscow's long-term goals of preventing Ukraine from joining NATO, establishing a pro-Russian proxy government, and fully demilitarizing Ukraine. The organization also warned that Russia might violate the ceasefire and blame Ukraine, as it did in the spring of 2025. Meanwhile, Ukraine fears that Russia is uninterested in a peace deal because it remains committed to its goal of completely conquering the country. Reports indicate that the U.S. proposed exchanging some Russian-occupied territory for peace, but this was rejected by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Viktor Kovalenko, a Ukrainian geopolitical analyst at Ukraine Decoded, called the summit a significant diplomatic breakthrough for the U.S. and Ukraine. However, if it involves Kyiv, the Alaska summit could stop the bloodshed, but without Ukrainian support and a focus on Russian withdrawal from key areas, it risks remaining a diplomatic mirage, he said. Previously, Trump stated that he and Putin would discuss a ceasefire proposal involving the handover of eastern Ukraine to Russia. This idea was strongly rejected by Zelensky in the European Union, who argued that such a deal would give Moscow time to prepare for a new offensive. Several Russian figures have openly accused Europe of being an obstacle to peace. Russian political scientist Sergei Markov told The Washington Post, Russia's primary interest is to portray Ukraine and Europe, not Russia, as obstacles to a deal. On the other hand, former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev even called European idiots preventing the US from reaching a peace agreement. The head of Russia's Liberal Democratic Party (LDPR), Leonid Slutsky, accused European countries of wanting to prevent a quick end to the war in Ukraine. The war between the two countries began in 2022. Ukraine's desire to join NATO is a contributing factor.